Can you get this? Do this.
This motley crew has 4 hours to achieve the impossible. This is Fat Mike, part-time hitman, part-time something else. And this is Dennis, the man determined to conquer the kitchen, defeat diabetes, and help you improve your health. He begins the quest for the perfect low-carb and keto noodle with a mixture of almond flour, coconut flour, eggs, and xanthan gum. A rather standard mixture that, upon mixing and kneading, reminds him of the old country.
Fettuccini, rigatoni, ravioli, spaghetti, lasagna.
After some kneading, the dough is set aside to rest for a few minutes to let the xanthan do its thing. In the meantime, Fat Mike is in the search of a specific tool that would be crucial to the mission. Back in the kitchen, Dennis has rolled the dough as thin as he can. He rolls it in order to create long noodles through precision cuts. However, the dough simply folds in on itself. As a result, he uses his bench scraper to create fettuccine noodles, of which he places in boiling water for 3 minutes exactly. Although they appeared promising before they boil, they now seem rather lackluster.
Nope.
Fat Mike, however, has run into his own set of problems. For the time being, Dennis moves on to test batch number 47. A mixture of wheat gluten, oat fiber, and eggs. Maybe. A bit of high quality H2O, and he pulverizes it into what looks like little pellets. Next, he dusts his work surface with a sprinkle of oat fiber and proceeds to dump the rough dough. Although it may seem unlikely to come together, he kneads the dough with his dirty paws, and eventually becomes a nice clay-like ball. And since it has gluten, it has a good spring to it. But this also means it must rest for 30 minutes. He wraps it with his mortar enemy, foil of the saran, sets it on the counter to sleep, and cleans. Because ants. The oat fiber and gluten dough is cut into quarters, and one lucky piece is selected. Another light sprinkling of oat fiber to prevent sticking, and he begins rolling out the dough. After an hour of rolling with little to show for, he is beginning to lose faith in his ability. He is not, in fact, an old Italian grandmother.
Oh, sweet. Perfect timing. This thing is struggling with this thing.
And so the machine of pastas is assembled with great care and precision. With each turn it squeals from lack of attention and grease. However, the dough is rejected for sheer thickness. Dennis rolls the dough a bit thinner and proceeds to pass the disc through the miniature torture machine fit for ants. He continually presses the dough until it becomes thinner and thinner, and once the noodles are cut, these too go into a vat of boiling water for 180 seconds. No more, no less. Easily fetched with tongs, the motley crew arrives at a pivotal point on their quest. With time running out, this recipe is crucial.
This is our best bet. And it looks and tastes like old rubber bands. I don't have any. And there's nowhere we're gonna find that. Not now.
Destitute and reluctant to give up, the reality is failure is a real possibility.
How'd you manage to get lupin flour? You're not allergic to peanuts, almonds, or legumes, are you? Alright. Let's cook.
And so the final attempt begins by adding half a cup of lupin flour and half a cup of wheat gluten into his food processor to mix.
You gotta be kidding me.
Or not. With time moving quickly, there's nothing to do except improvise. Thus he decides to use the traditional method of the grandmothers of old. Dumping the flour onto his board, he gives them a rough mix with the 4-pronged spear before creating a volcano in the center. A large avian egg is cracked and the contents deposited in the well. A light scramble, and a second egg is invited in. Out of practice, the volcano begins to erupt, so he covers the lava like a cat in a litter box. Dennis continues to mix and eventually utilizes a bench scraper to better combine the ingredients. Although it appears like an absolute sticky mess, it eventually comes together for the second step: kneading. The gluten proteins are stretched and forced into submission under the palm of his hand. Much like test batch number 47, the gluten gives the dough a very nice spring to it. But also like test batch number 47, the ball of dough must now rest to allow the gluten to relax. The clay ball is covered with plastic wrap and set to rest at room temperature on the counter for what is an agonizingly long 30 minutes. Upon inspection, the dough is very similar to real pasta dough. Stretchy, and one can see thy own hand through the semi-opaque dough. Once at the desired thickness, it must be cut to size, in this case roughly 12 inches. However, when cutting, he fails to make a clean cut, and subsequently pulls the dough apart. Under no circumstance should this be done, as it is not a fruit roll-up. This will also cause noodles of uneven thickness. Then, a light dusting to prevent sticking. With time running out, the final moments are upon them. A pot of water is set over the magical heat box and heavily salted. While he waits for the water to boil, he decides to vacuum seal some noodles to freeze for later. However, this is not advisable, as it simply yields a puck of pasta. Instead, simply place noodles in a bag and freeze. The noodles are chosen and loaded into the water to meet their final destiny. They are cooked for 3 minutes exactly to achieve the perfect al dente consistency. Surprising the friend Alexei on his birthday with his favorite dish is a success.
We want to make one of your favorite foods low carb and keto friendly. So, perfect low carb and keto noodles. Perfectly al dente and absolutely delicious. Where's Mike? Where is Mike?